Good day, race fans, and welcome to the Intentional Wreck Podcast. Podcast made by race fans for race fans, from the casuals to the lifelong gearheads. My name is Jeff, and I'm here with my fellows Corey, Finn, and Nick. And welcome back, everybody. After a long, grueling, brutal, tough 2.5 months of off season in which we have endured holidays and other racing, snowcrete, a sweeping chill of Arctic frost that has moved across the east coast of the country, and things going right back to the same with a afternoon rain forecast over Daytona for the 500 at our biggest event of the year. Boys, we're back.
Yeah. Of course it's going to rain. Of course it is. But man, it's
Can't
going
have can't have a NASCAR race without a weather
No,
scare.
We just stir
no.
it up, dude.
Now, one of the things that we did want to start with off the top, we had some very unfortunate news come down just based within our NASCAR family. We saw some tough stuff going on with Denny Hamlin's family, and then to add insult to injury with all of that, we lost Greg Biffle this past year. And Finn, I wanted to kick it off to you because I know you wanted to say some words about that right off the break.
Yeah, well, as we were doing our pre-brief last week on everything and our goals, Corey just kind of went, I know who Greg Biffle's name is. I have no idea who he is as a racer. So in our way to kind of honor the legacy of one of the sport's greats, in fact, considered one of the top 75 drivers of all time, figured we'd sit down and just kind of go a quick little brief over. I'm going to throw on the screen. AJ Allmendinger is going to be running, as well as RFK, I believe. Greg Biffle's inspired numbers on the 16 car this year at Daytona. So that's really nice of them in the sport. And let's talk about Greg Biffle real quick. So first off, this is a little to Corey, a little to everybody else, known as the Biff. Some achievements in NASCAR for the Roush Racing 16 driver. The 2002 Busch Series champion, that's the Xfinity. Well, not even Xfinity anymore, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series now. 2000 Truck Series champion. So 2 of the 3 series. 56 career NASCAR wins. He was a rookie in Cup at 33 years old, Corey.
Wow.
So
He also had the Truck Series wins record in a season before this past year.
before Heim took it. Yep, got that. Perfect. He's the first driver to win all 3 series in succession. So he won at the Truck Series, then Xfinity, and then Cup. Obviously, some guys that had won Cup had come down and won the other series, but he is the first driver to ever go up the rankings and win at all 3. His best season, 2005, he won, I think, 5-6 races. He was second in points. I'm not going to say to who because this is not about him. It's about Greg. Jimmy Jam. All right, I did it. All right, but here's the thing you need to know about the Biff. First of all,
Couldn't help yourself.
as I couldn't help myself, as a race car driver,
Safe
Corey,
to say you biffed it, bud.
Corey, there were 2 tracks that were almost. I mean, we talked about the safest bet in NASCAR right now is SVG at a road course race. Okay.
Yeah.
During this time frame, one of the safest bets in NASCAR was Greg Biffle at Michigan or Greg Biffle at Homestead.
Those are 2 really good courses.
Those are-
Really good tracks to be like good at.
Biffle was, I mean, he was a fiery guy, but a very, very talented race car driver. And I think, to have the career he had at all 3 levels in the sport, and really being one of the top forwards for a very long time, his humanitarian efforts were even on top of that, right? He was a pilot. He used his personal helicopter to help North Carolinians. After was Hurricane Helene or Helen, I can't remember if it's Helene or Helen, but there was a hurricane. It hit West North Carolina really bad, and he was going out of his way. He was always trying to do things like that. I mean, he was a mentor to we see like Cletus McFarland and other drivers, always around the racetrack, despite not really being. I guess he was racing. Even he's been racing pretty recently, even for some of those oddball one-off teams. So his impact on the sport is second to none, and he will be sorely, sorely missed.
I'll have to check out some highlights
Yeah.
of Greg Biffle at Michigan one of these days.
Yep, do that.
He's
and
one of
then-
those. He's one of those that if you weren't around while he was racing, he kind of goes under the radar for
Mhm.
everybody talking about past races or past great drivers, and Greg Biffle was a great driver.
Yeah, he was
A
good.
former honorable mention in the intro to this podcast at one point. Maybe more so in anger, but he was within the intro to this podcast for a very long time within its infancy. So
Wait, was it
Greg
Greg?
Biffle will
Oh,
be
it
storied.
was. Oh man, that's
Right.
the old Boris said clip at a road course
Yes.
where he's like, "I'm gonna beat his ass."
Yeah.
I
At
forgot.
Greg Biffle. Yep.
At Greg Biff, man,
Exactly.
yeah.
So-
I'm gonna. Oh man, had I remembered that was what that clip was about, I would have gone
Right
back
before
into
your
it.
vocals kicked in, you know. Yeah, but that was so one of the other things that happened going into this off season. Many NASCAR fans pleas and begging and prayers were answered with the changing of the playoff system to going back to the chase and going to a postseason format that matches up to other major motorsports within the world. And generally, I know I was in favor of going within that format. I didn't know if I really wanted to see like an entire just season without some flair there towards the end, because that wouldn't quite feel NASCAR enough for me. But at the same time, like, we are at a point in which we have a postseason format that generally seems to make sense and is also going to reward a total season performance a little more than the original playoff format will. So I don't know. What did you guys think about moving forward? Are we pro? Are we against?
I'm
It
pro.
never ceases to amaze me, this sport's ability to change rules. It's wild.
It is.
It's just the points are made up and the rules don't matter, basically.
Yep.
And there's
Who's
no
racing is it
consistency.
anyway?
There's no
Uh,
consistency, but we still come back each week. So
I think at the heart of it, because this sport is built upon the races themselves, right? Whereas, with the Super Bowl last week, like all other sports, the regular season are the regular season. There's good games in there, but ultimately it comes down to that big one at the very, very end of the season, and where one team's happy and 31 teams are not happy. NASCAR, despite there being a playoff and a championship, I feel like our individual races stand out a little bit more than the common regular season game, and our big events, our crown jewels. I guess before we opinionize on it, let's talk about the differences, right? So in Cup, we have the top 16 drivers in the O'Reilly Series 12, and then in the Trucks 10 are going to make the playoffs. There's no longer a win and in. This is a regular season points in. So the SVG fans are in shambles right now, as there are no more automatic
tough.
playoff berths. But we'll get to what that matters. I think it makes like this weekend matter more, instead of the drag, the in the back of your brain, oh my God, Ricky Stenhouse is going to make the playoffs now. It's he won the Daytona 500, good for him. You got off on the right foot, good sponsorship, instead of this negative news or conversation of, well, now Harrison Burton's in the playoffs, great. This is stupid, like that's just a dumb argument.
Yeah, that's a fair point, that removing the whole luck factor of lucking in at a
Right.
super speedway kind of doesn't, it keeps the dregs out of the playoffs. SVG did finish 12th in points last year, so he would have been in anyway.
No, he finished 12th
SVG is
because the playoffs.
he's getting a lot better. Yeah, he finished because he got into the playoffs, but he's getting a lot better at ovals.
Yeah.
So
we're going to talk about that for sure. Race winners now collect 55 points, a 15-point increase over the previous system. So you will be rewarded heavily for winning. And then points for all other positions and stage results remain the same. But playoff points are no longer bankable playoff points are no longer part of the format. Points will reset for each series, chase with a 25-point premium awarded to the regular season champion. And then there will be small incremental drops for a couple, and then a 5-point after. So I think it's like 25 points down to second, 10 down to third, and then 5-point drop. And then, of course, the chase is back. 10 races, kind of a winner-take-all. Interesting enough, only 9 chase races for the O'Reilly, and then 7 for the Truck Series. But the man with the most points at the end wins. So I think I do like Corey's point. It is crazy. Imagine if, like, football, just like, hey, Super Bowl was cool, but for about 5 years now, we're just going to do whoever scored the most points in a season.
So that brings me to the next question, which is, when do they change it again?
Oh,
Like dead serious. They because here's the why I say that. They had this format already, and they changed it for some reason to something else.
They
Why did
changed
they
it because
change
of the 48 car.
no, they changed it first because of the 17 car.
Well, that too. Yes,
Well,
but
yes, but
strictly the chase.
This fucking guy.
let's the other thing to go at with this is that it evolved from the chase to the playoffs because of the seeking of the game 7 moment in which they found out that the playoffs didn't actually achieve, and now we're reverting back to what was happening beforehand. Now that doesn't mean that there couldn't be a change. Yeah, the sport changes on a regular basis on a dime, obviously. But at the same time, I don't think we see let's go back to the playoffs. I personally think that is going to be a pretty substantial lesson learned in that in a substantial lesson learned in moving too far one way as opposed to the not. Now, to me, if it changes again, it moves to something different that ends up being a little more conventional. It actually moves less chasey and ends up being far more based on just standard points down the field, down the line, all the way. I don't think it moves back to another
No,
playoff
that's
format, though.
No,
correct me if I'm wrong here, but that's Winston Cup. That's the Winston Cup era you're describing, where it's just
Yeah.
whoever has the most points for the whole season wins.
yes,
Right.
but
Yeah.
the Winston Cup point tally, how they managed their points was very weird. But yes, a conventional system where it's a 36 race championship season,
Right.
not a 26 regular season and a 10
Right.
race chase. I think that we're here for at least the next 5 years, probably the next 10, before we do see our next change. But I agree with you, Jeff. The next, if there is a change going away from the chase, the next change will be akin to the 36 race format.
With the popularity of other series, particularly looking at Formula One, for example, in America, and you look at that and that general format and trying to, kind of catch the thunder or adopt something along those lines. I think if they make the reason, that's my justifications. I think if they go for anything, it's a further attempt to continue to build on the dam of legitimacy, as Slapshoes on YouTube would say. You're building the dam of legitimacy by attempting to like move towards your place in the mainstream regarding the entire sports lexicon. So that discussion and the main criticism that would end up happening on a chase format or a postseason format at all is related to, hey, the other top series in the world race a full season without a postseason. Why does NASCAR have to do that, and what makes them special? Would be that's a criticism I can hear in my head. Not, I'm not necessarily validating it one way or the other. Just
I think we're here for a decade. I think that the field is just so close compared to what it kind of used to be. I think you mentioned the Jimmy Johnson's dominance and stuff like that, but those championships were some of the best that we've ever seen. We've seen some dominant ones. We've seen some really, really close ones. We've seen a dead tie in the chase era between Carl Edwards and Tony Stewart. So for me, it's like I think they realized a mistake, and what made me realize that they made a mistake, inception of realization, was them not taking a small incremental jump back to the chase. They didn't go, okay, it's still playoffs, but instead of one final race, it's 4 final races, or the last 3 races. They're not babying it. I think enough of the talking heads in NASCAR got together and said, yo, get to the chase, okay? Cut to the chase, literally, pun intended. And get there. What I think they need to learn from last time was track selection. Now, obviously, weather time and the fall can kind of limit where you can go. But I do think a road course needs to be in there. It's not. We'll talk about that later. I do think that there needs to be a rotation of tracks that are in playoffs. That's going to allow those tracks to kind of, be, a little bit more featured. It's going to stop certain drivers like the Jimmy Johnson era from dominating because literally almost all of his best tracks were in the chase. That's the lesson I think that gets learned this time around.
Well, don't let people study for the chase. That's to me.
Oh, dude,
that's the other part. Is don't let
raffle.
people
Raffle for the chase tracks at the very end of the regular season.
Well,
I'm
I don't know
fine.
if you get that close, but I'm saying like don't let it be at a point where like, okay, it's week 5 and now we're prepping so we can try and find our ways to squeeze in so we know we're going to perform well at this series of tracks. But yeah.
Well, the guys that know they're going to be, in at least the top 12 of the top 16 positions towards the end of the year, they're already going to be getting that data. Like as soon as, people go to Phoenix and Charlotte and stuff like that, they're going to be writing notes and saying, "Hey, we're coming back here in the fall for, the chase." They're going to be in their back pocket. But I'm fine. Finn, you said about there being no road courses in the chase. I'm fine with that. Perfectly fine with that. That does not make me even in the slightest bit annoyed. Number one, because
We're happy that what got replaced in,
well, yes,
but it is
yes,
a
that's the
featurable.
main reason.
We go to more road courses than we do super speedway tracks.
Yeah.
Right. So
By a
for
lot.
me, it is a considerable part of the series to where I think it should be considered required for the playoffs. And it's not even playoffs, it's just a chase. You just have to be at one track mildly decent, right? Yes, it could be your worst race. But that I'm not saying I don't think there should be 2, but I do think that there should be throw Watkins Glen in there, right? Like I don't know if we can go to New York that area
Coda, dude.
without
The
Coda's the
reason
answer to this question.
Coda could
Coda.
be, but the
Would be a
reason
thing.
I'm fine with keeping a road course out of the chase is because the person that wins that road course in the chase, if there was one in the chase, winning that road course race is not going to be the reason that they win the chase.
Sure.
Sure.
I just think we have to
So.
encapsulate all of our styles of driving, and there
Yes,
is
I
one of
agree.
each
I agree with
track
that.
style.
This is a multidisciplinary
Right.
form of racing, right? And it's like to represent that at the postseason level to me
Right.
makes sense.
I would also be fine with not having any drafting tracks in the playoffs or
Listen,
in
if
the
we could
chase.
just do, hey,
But-
listen,
He just wants to do Charlotte 10
yes,
times.
Nick's
Yeah.
says Charlotte 10 times. He's gonna come stay at my house for about 3.5 months. We're
Yep.
just gonna go. Listen, we could do the
Bro.
Volvo in between there, Nick. It's still there. It's still there.
We could if it
Coda,
was if it
Coda
was
in the playoffs would be fun. Just pull Coda out of the first month of the season and just stick it in the playoffs. And just shift everything up by 1 and just move Coda to the end of the season. That'd be fun.
So
it'd still be
Imagine
really
turn
hot
1 of
in
Coda with
Austin
the
though.
championship on the line.
It would still be really hot in Austin in October timeframe.
Yep.
right. Well, that's the chase. I think it's here to stay. I think we dig it. We dig it. So, Jeff,
Well,
Yeah,
what
I'm
do you
so
got?
excited.
rolling
I'm
into
excited
that
for
with a
it.
new format.
Yeah.
We got some new rides, we got new faces, we got new people coming in, we got some movers and shakers. So we saw a few changes this year. I don't know if it's quite the like crazy level that we might have seen like maybe 23 and 24.
Mhm.
Or I mean 24 and 25, but we definitely at least saw some shakeups this year going into the season. So we could definitely talk about that.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I think that we got stolen from us is a Connor Zilic, Corey Heim Rookie of the Year head to head.
Yeah.
I mean, we are going to see them, right? Zilic has moved up. He's driving what the 87 this year, or is he the 88? Are they 88, 96?
88.
Yeah, he's the 88. Yep. So
Zilic is
88. SVG's moved over to the 97. I don't think I learned anything from the Clash, and we'll talk about that here in a second. We got Suarez moving over to the 7. So
Is that a stock up or stock down for Suarez to go from the 99 to the 7?
It's definitely stock down because Suarez is just not good.
Right, but is that a worse ride than the 99?
I would say the 7 at Spire is a worse ride than any Trackhouse car.
Okay.
Now, if it were the 77 at Spire,
Yeah.
I would say that that's
yeah,
on par.
Haley struggled in the 7 major. LaJoy brought money to the 7, and he's not in it anymore. So I don't know. I don't know how much backing. I know Suarez has got a little bit of backing, but
Suarez actually has a lot of backing
Right.
because of Carlos Slim
right.
in a roundabout way, but that's the only reason he still has a ride right now.
Heim is
Yeah, I
going
was
to run.
generally surprised he was
yeah.
still there.
Heim's going to run, I think they said around 12 races, so we are going to see what the future of the Toyota side looks like. So I'm excited for that. As far as I know, there really isn't anybody else that's moved up. Jesse Love has been handed the O'Reilly Auto Parts Championship on a platter. Go get it.
Yeah.
Go back to back, young man. I'm excited for when his time to come up is. I know Raja is going to move up and do some Xfinity this year or O'Reilly Series this year. I'm used to that, but
It just rolls off the tongue, doesn't
right.
it?
Oh.
The O'Reilly Auto Parts series. Say
So-
that 5 times fast.
But we did get to see them fight at the Clash, so let's talk about that.
Oh, I can just head out if you want. That's cool.
Jeff, you go
Trash
first.
product.
Segue me.
Oh, sure, no problem. We could talk about the Clash. I didn't want to torture myself, so I didn't tune in to watch that garbage product in the middle of the afternoon on a Tuesday because it got snowed out, which it rightfully deserved to, and they should have canceled the goddamn thing and waited until we went to Daytona anyway. That's my take on the Clash. Finn, what'd you think?
I thought
I'll give you my
I didn't
take
even
on the
watch
Clash
it.
real
I'm
quick.
not even gonna. I'm
I'll
not
give
even
you
gonna
my
play
take
like I
on the
watched.
Clash. I was not able to watch the Clash live, so I recorded it, and I got to lap 160. I slogged through it,
Nobody exceeded
A
30
long-
miles an hour.
a long red flag, and then everybody just dooring each other into the turns. And then it switched to the Masked Singer.
yeah.
Nice.
So you watched the Masked Singer.
So
Jeff watched
the
nothing.
last 40 laps were the Masked Singer for me.
All right. Well, let me tell you about how the Clash and our preview of the 750 horsepower package went.
You didn't get one.
First of all, the last chance qualifier was a banger. Barry ended up winning it, but there was a fantastic battle between, I want to say it was.
Did you say ended up winning it?
Barry?
Josh Berry.
Reese.
No, the last chance
Priest won the-
qualifier.
Priest-
Oh, LCQ.
Hey, first of all, who was singing? That's what you need to know. Your job is to tell me who was under the mask, Nick. I got the recap of the Clash.
It wasn't a Penske win, so Finn remembered it.
All
so
right, but
he's going to talk about it.
There was a really good battle. There was, I think it was Suarez and the Six of LaJoy. I want to say there might have been somebody else. The Six of LaJoy was fighting somebody. AJ. Oh, it was Cindric, I think.
Yeah, Cindric,
It was- yeah,
Allmendinger,
it was-
and
yeah.
LaJoy were all fighting.
That was a fantastic battle, considering the track and how short it was. Then we go to the main event. That one was okay. There was definitely some fallers. There was passing for the lead. Listen. From what we have seen in this car at short tracks, passing for the lead is a good thing. So we saw Briscoe work his way up, pass and lead quite a bit of laps. We saw Ty Gibbs work his way up, and then the rain started to come. And fellas, that was so fun to watch. When they put rain tires on these things, first of all, the lane moved up, and 2 cars came flying to the front in these rain tires. One of them being SVG. And then I think Priest was up there as well. I think there was one more car that found his way up to the front. But just
Zilich got up pretty close.
Yeah, just
during the rain.
You could see different driving styles mattered. It went to the rain, and now you had to have a different technique. And then SVG's up here leading laps at an oval, and it was like, okay, this looks good. I think their downfall was caution laps not counting. That was the downfall. That's where that stat came from, because they paced around, because there was cautions after cautions, and caution laps did not count towards the total, which made that race go 4 hours long.
That is insane. That is insane.
I like why they made the decision. It just sucks that this time it didn't work out. Okay?
Yeah, do that race again on a night where it doesn't rain. It's fine.
And not at Bowman Gray.
And not at Bowman Gray. But the reason that they went no cautions was because short track racing, Saturday night racing,
right,
at tracks like Bowman Gray, the caution laps are not counted.
Yep.
So
I think
it was
that
more back to the roots.
I think ultimately I left the Clash going, okay, it was the Clash. I don't think we learned anything about any drivers. I think what we learned was I really liked the 750 horsepower package for the short tracks, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Optimistic would be what I left the Clash with. Priest came in, a little short track specialist, and he ended up winning. I think there's time to talk in a bit about of those guys on the up or down and Priest might be a name that gets mentioned, but that was that. Thought it was it does suck with all the weather delays. There's one thing NASCAR is never prepared for, it's weather delays, but we almost had our first snow race, and that would have been sick.
I would have been very mad to miss a snow race, but I don't know. It's
Just remember when we
I
went to
I
rain
NASCAR
tires?
has had snow events in the past. We would not have full race broadcasts if it wasn't for snow.
so the rain tires thing I enjoy. Every time I've seen them actually put the rain tires on and race a little bit, I've enjoyed it.
New Hampshire,
I
Years
think it
ago.
was
New
was it New
Hampshire?
Hampshire? Yeah, and I think I've seen it
Banger.
maybe 3 or 4 times since I started watching. But like it's always fun because it's just I just like different. Like it's the best thing about NASCAR is that it's not always the same thing.
Mhm.
And you just kind of can tune in and get a little bit of a different show every week. Um,
until they
making fun of
change
it.
the format. Which one is it, Corey? Is it good or is it bad?
Change the format. No. It's I don't have any problem with them changing the format. I like
It
that
was
it
a
changes,
callback,
but
man.
it's something to get used to if you're gonna start watching NASCAR. It's like
Yeah.
don't get too attached. To this day, I've been watching.
Don't get
I'm a
attached
sports
to
guy,
anything.
bro. Don't get attached to things in this sport at all, ever. It's gonna change. But like I came into this sport like I love Mustangs. I'm a Ford guy. Nope. Nope.
Camry
I'm rooting
guy.
for the Toyota team. Yeah. Now I'm a Camry guy. We're all Camry guys here. Um, but no, I think it's fun, but I like it when they put the rain tires on. I get why they can't do it at your Daytonas and Charlottes and all that kind of stuff. It's basically short tracks and road courses only. Fair, but it is fun when they do it.
Yeah. It's fair. It's fair enough. Like my feelings on the Clash, more so my feelings on racing at football stadiums,
Yeah.
do not reflect my feelings on the 750 horsepower increase, nor actual short track racing in general. I have no issues with either of those things. I think those are fine. Stop holding the Clash at football stadiums, please.
Sure.
I go back to Daytona, pick another track, go somewhere where the race cars can drive fast. Please, can we watch fast cars drive fast and do fast things? That would be great. That's generally where I live on that, and where my curmudgeonness lives on the Clash, because I sat through all those races at the Coliseum, and then last year's race at Bowman Gray. Bleh. But either way, now one thing that we did end up having was we had to say goodbye to the Roval this year. I wanted to find out where you guys stand on that front, but we get to see the oval now twice. That scene generally is pretty much of a positive, but losing the Roval, where do you guys see the impacts?
Easy yes. This is easy. This is the easiest yes ever.
Yeah.
Charlotte's the best track, I think, on the circuit at this point.
Uh,
So more Charlotte Oval is better.
I'm happy Charlotte Oval's back. I'm sad Charlotte Roval's gone. I think Charlotte Roval deserves its place in the schedule. I've always hated it came at the expense of a second oval race. If we replaced it with Texas, if you replace Roval or the Texas race with Roval right now, I'm in. I'm down. So that's where I would want to see it.
I don't think we need to. I mean, Texas doesn't have the best racing. Texas has entertainment. I don't think we need to take a date away from a track that only has one date on the calendar,
right,
to replace the
I
Roval with.
just mean like it could go.
But I agree. Yeah, I agree with the sentiment. I don't hate the Roval. I just like the
Charlotte.
oval way better.
Yeah, it deserves
So,
to, and I'm excited.
I'm happy with it.
Yep.
It's just a good replace good with great type of thing. I mean, my situation is pretty much the same. I like the Roval. I think it's just fine. I think it deserves a place to run in NASCAR. But
if we get away with that, like we got the gimmick race, the street course race this year, the Roval makes sense to like at that point. Like, oh shit, we didn't get something. Okay, go to the Roval. It was already a road course week, anyways. We can go back through there. So,
absolutely. So, R.I.P. Roval. We'll see what happens, because that has been a theme. Things change. We could get the Roval back in a year. Who knows?
Right.
Things could change on that.
Sure.
But I think one of the other things that we should get into with the time that we've got is kind of move into the upward, downward predictions and stuff like that with what we've got going on with the season getting ready to get started. So as of right now, where do you guys see trending upward? Who do you think is going to have a better season? Who do you think is going to be moving up in the standings this year that maybe didn't have the season they expected next year, or that's first coming into the series that's going to find their way up?
I'll go.
I got one.
I got Eric Jones on the brain.
Oh my god, dude.
It's not even
He's
a meme.
Jonesy.
They had a significant improvement to their intermediate track performances, and I do think that's. I mean, they were really fast at the 600. They were running down the leaders at Darlington. I think this is a time where we see Eric Jones go get a win this year, and then I do think that I would say a fringe playoff driver, whereas now last year he wasn't really anywhere to be found in that playoffs.
I like that take.
I got Hocevar. He will win at least one race.
Yep.
He was fast last year, and some bad luck, maybe bad luck, maybe poor
forcing
choices.
it into
Yeah, maybe poor choices cost him a win or two last year, but he's got speed. There's no doubt that kid can drive a race car. Like, he's really, really good. He's fun to watch too, man. Like, if I was gonna root for a Chevy today, it's either Chastain or Hocevar.
One that I'm trending up on, I talked about him earlier, is SVG. We all know his dominance on road courses. There's not going to be any less road courses in the near future, less than what we have this year. And he just keeps getting faster and faster on ovals. Led some laps in the Clash. Really dominated on the wet tires, but he was still up there, looking good. He's looked good at a few ovals recently in the later stages of last year. So I could see at least a podium this year at an oval, if not a win.
Okay. So I have where I'm at as far as an upswing, there are two people that I have primarily in mind. The big one that I think like is on a lot of radar and what at least it should be Christopher Bell. We should be seeing an upswing for Christopher Bell. We should be seeing a situation in which this is a guy that is supposed to be championship contending speed, championship contending racer, and I think in a chase format has the potential to be very dangerous. I know that it sounds a little weird to have a guy that finished fifth last year in saying, like, what do you mean trending upward? There's not much more to upward to go. We know what the standard is supposed to be. Like, this is generally like somebody that we should be expecting to be in top three contention. So, like, yes, it's a smaller margin, but that margin means a lot in these circumstances. And I think in a chase format, that makes a big difference. Now, the other person that I think maybe not so known, I personally think we may see some more out of Josh Berry this year. The reason why I say that is talk about like your all-time what the fuck type of endings to a season this guy had.
Right.
You had somebody who was his postseason was insane, and like in the worst ways possible. It felt like every time that we started a race, within the first 10 laps of his tenure in the postseason, something happened to the 21 car.
He
What
had
the
the
hell was
worst
that?
stage in the history of playoff racing.
Yes. Yes. I to me, like for somebody who has proven that they can drive, that I think that there should hopefully be nowhere to go but up for the 21. But we'll see where that goes. Now we should pivot down.
So
Where
hold
do you
on.
see
Real
things?
quick.
Oh yeah,
Let
hold
me
on.
touch on. So you said that Christopher Bell is one of yours that you see rising, even though he
Yeah.
finished fifth in the championship last year.
Small
So
margin, but up.
if he's top three, then I assume Denny is above him for you. I
In my
assume
heart, of course.
Kyle Larson would be above him, the returning champion.
Presumptively.
There's no other driver that you see that is on the same level or could be around Christopher Bell this year.
It's to me, I think the format is what's going to play a big difference as far as like having consistent speed for over a longer period of time. that I
Yeah.
think Christopher Bell has the capability of. Because for me, going into this, I was looking at him and I was looking at the 45, and I'm like, okay, these are two guys that you're looking at, younger, up and coming, supposed to be higher standard, pivotal guys for their teams that are supposed to be the cars you're putting up there. So
Yeah,
that's
I
kind
get
of
that.
where
I'm just my thought process is the amount of competition that we have with these cars and with these drivers today. You could have a bad stretch of 5 races that could determine whether you're P3 in points for the year or P8 in points for the
yeah,
year. Things are so close that it's just tough to zero in on anybody who's going to be top 3 next year.
Christopher Bell
absolutely.
did have the highest average finish in the series last year.
His
11.2.
consistency
Uh,
is what
I
should get him there.
I was going to take that the other way, which is I think Josh Berry is going to be a non-factor this year. I actually, when we were talking about the drivers on the downswing, he's my driver on the downswing. I don't think he's going to. He shouldn't have been a factor. That was one good win that he had, and that was kind of it. Like
Yeah.
he was a little bit of a one-trick pony last year. I don't think that we're going to see him rise. I think we're going to see him precipitously fall and be pretty much a non-factor this year.
Yeah.
Conflicting spots.
Well, while I do agree with Corey that Penske underperforms and they're not very good, good point there. Um, where I do see light at the end of the tunnel for Barry is that 750 package. The easier it is for the passing at short tracks, the less track positiony they will be, and more you will see the Priestes, the Berries, the short track wingers go to the front, thus having better performances. I feel like right now they're not unloading with a ton of speed, and then they're stuck in the back, and you're just kind of riding around. But with that package coming forward, the Loudons and those races are going to matter a bit more, and we might see him go up there and win one of those races because he's certainly quick at those style of tracks for sure. So there's that for Josh Berry for sure.
Yeah, cases to be made, but I mean, so that started the downswing
Right.
discussion as far as like who's going to make their way down. Finn, who do you think is who's your driver in that category?
Alex Bowman. I don't think he makes the
Me too.
playoffs this year.
Same. That is exactly who I have.
I don't
I
think
had
anybody makes the
Barry and
playoffs.
Bowman.
I do not
Yeah,
think Alex
I
Bowman makes the play. I don't think Alex Bowman sniffs the playoffs this year. It's
I don't
unfortunate.
think he's in I don't think he's in a Hendrick ride after this year.
Well,
I
he'll
think
get by.
I think he's going to keep a seat. I think he's going to be a solid P12 in
Yeah.
the final standings of the regular season. So I think he makes the playoffs.
for him, he's lucky it's 16 cars that make the chase now. Let's say that.
Yes.
So I guess I'll retract that point of the
Yeah.
statement. Not too
So
impressed
is
with
the-
anything there.
So is the Bubba Cindric cohort of driver that falls in that sort of
Listen,
low teens category.
At least
and that's
I
where
think
Bubba-
Bowman is now.
Keselowski makes playoffs this year.
he's an interesting.
That'd be a huge improvement
Last
because he
year.
had a terrible year last year.
He was just very spotty last year. For drivers that are that I think are regressing, I mean, Suarez won't make the playoffs this year.
No.
He won't. I don't think he wins another race in his career. So that's just an easy one that I could go for.
Definitely not anything not at a super speedway.
Yeah.
Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say not make the chase at all, but with the format, with some of the changes, and just all things considered, I'm curious about Logano. I mean, as far as where
Ooh, good
we're going to
point.
see him land this year,
Yeah.
as opposed to where he has in the postseasons past, what are we going to see from the 22? I think that we may see a fall off from that 22 this year. And this is going to be fun. We'll be able to take this and go back at the end of this season and just generally laugh hysterically at the spots that we're at
I
right
don't.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that
Yeah,
one.
I don't think that's a bad take. That's not a bad take at all. Logano's definitely going to regress.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where that goes because I just think that in a point where it's going to have to be consistent and it's going to have to be consistent upward and consistent success. I don't know where we're going to see. Now, Blaney, I think, is going to be another story. I think Blaney's going to be running well throughout the majority of the year. I think this format is going to suit Blaney fairly well. I don't think it's going to suit the 22 very well.
Blaney usually does run well throughout the year,
Yes.
but I think from a points perspective and from making the chase perspective, I think all of Penske is going to take a step back with Blaney being that lead car.
Blaney cannot have the
Yeah.
DNFs
Blaney-
they had early last year, though. That was a big thing.
That's
that's kind of
Blaney
been
and
forgotten.
Logano finished the season 6th and 7th in the standings, like
Yeah.
within 40 points of each other. Very, very, very close.
But without winning
Yeah, the
in,
whole
I
Yeah.
mean, I think they're both good enough to be top 16 in points. But again, I only think I would say Blaney is the only Penske car I'm concerned about being a championship contender. I don't think the other.
Sure.
Yeah.
Blaney had 4 wins.
Blaney
Logano
also
had
had 4 wins. 2
4
Logano's
wins.
1.
Right.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
So I think that's where that gap goes between the two of them. So
But
I
wins
think if
don't
they
mean
both
as
make
much.
the chase.
I mean, that is one thing is about this is that wins in the regular season don't mean as much as they did last year. That is
They
that is
still mean a lot, but there's
incontrovertibly
no
true.
way that they could mean as much as they did last year.
Yes.
If
They-
if
they
it were
still
me
mean a
and
lot, though.
I'm looking at that, I think we're looking at a difference of like fifth or sixth to like 10th or 11th as far as the disparity between the two, as far as when you get to the point of the chase. That's
Yeah, I would
that's
agree
where
with
that's where I would land on them. But all of that being said, what are our championship predictions? Who's taking the win?
Let's go one name
Who
apiece.
is going to finish out on the top?
This is gross, but I'm gonna pick William Byron.
Makes life easy for me.
William Byron.
Chase Briscoe.
Yeah, I mean, oh,
That makes life easy for me.
hey, buddy.
Listen, listen.
All
Listen.
right.
Go back. I was a truther, and I felt like he was gonna jump in the car and it was gonna be gone. They had that rough period, but I do not think there was a better car in the last half of the season last year than the 19. It was this perfect
It was,
combination of they qualified with speed. If they weren't up front, they made their way up front. It felt like there wasn't a race. He wasn't leading laps. He was
Yeah.
the closest car to passing SVG in a road course after Coda with that end of Sonoma. I think it's all of the confidence is there for the 19 to just go make a run and win this damn thing.
It's gonna be easier for them this year, not having to get used to each other, and they saw what they could do when they lock it in. So I hope you're right, man. Holy crap, I'll be locked in. But yeah, my pick is Byron because you just throw a dart at the 5 and the 24, and both of them are championship contenders, and Byron because Larson won
Yeah.
last year.
Byron's always
Repeating
up
is
there.
hard.
I have a heart pick and a head pick. I'm not gonna pick Larson because he's the previous champion. The heart pick, which is a lot coming from me, is Denny.
Oh.
I want to see
Yeah.
Denny get one.
Just because
Really
he
want to see
should.
Denny get one.
He should.
I
Yeah.
don't. He deserved this last year.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's gonna happen, but I want to see it happen.
I'm good.
The realistic pick for me is a guy who embodies the Matt Kenseth season like no one else, and that's Chase Elliott. Just solid finishes, not super flashy, get a lot of points, and get out of there.
I am
Okay.
in fact the Chase Elliott of the IWP NASCAR 25 league.
You're getting a win tonight.
All right.
No, we're not.
So in all the ways in which I have been hard on him, but it's because I love him. In all of the ways that I have tried to temper my own expectations, and ways that I have attempted to do whatever I could to just try to not set myself up for being crushed, none of that shit works. And last year, despite all of the other ways that my heart and my emotions and my mind and everything that I love has been crushed and crumpled down into a tiny little compressed ball of anger and disappointment, it didn't work. So this year, James Dennis Allen Hamlin wins the title.
There we go.
Hey, I
Book
love
it,
that for you,
mark
bro.
it, let's go.
Hey, I'd be
So
happy.
that's where that is for me. And all with that being said, our predictions are there. I'm writing them down. They're being etched. Now we can take a small bit of time and talk about this Daytona 500 that we're rolling in if we see a race on Sunday.
Yeah.
What do we got?
Let's get on my soapbox again, which is this shouldn't be the first race of the year. Jesus, every time. Let's get everybody together, all these new NASCAR fans, and then they have to sit through a fucking rainstorm in Florida when the weather's going to be perfect somewhere else. Let's just go to Atlanta first. Let's get Atlanta at the track. At least it's super speed racing with speed.
I wouldn't hate it, but you can't take away opening the season with
Yes,
the biggest race of the year.
Bang.
everything's
Just from a NASCAR
beautiful, right?
perspective.
Everything is perfect up to the point the green flag waves, and then it's just a snoozer. That being said,
Where would you put it then?
where would I put the Daytona 500?
Like,
July 4th.
in the schedule, yeah.
July 4th.
Okay.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah,
Got it.
night race,
Okay.
Daytona 500.
Dude, it would be so hot, bro. So hot.
Oh, fuck. Mega night race.
Going to Daytona in July.
That's
dog.
Well, Corey.
Sitting through
Corey's new fanship is showing Daytona used to be the July 4th race for many years.
Yes,
So it's
I've
not
heard that,
unknown.
yes.
So, but
that was a 400 miler, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah, but give
That's
me
a firecracker.
Yeah, give me 500 miles on America Day
America Day.
to party
Love that.
party
You
for it all.
could start it before the sun goes down.
Oh,
I love that.
gorgeous, beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That
no, it
would
be
be
good.
very cool.
But what we have to look forward to on Sunday,
Jimmy
if it happens, is fuel saving because of stage racing.
Jimmy Johnson.
Nobody pushing. Yep,
Yes,
Jimmy's
Jimmy
running.
Johnson.
He could win it. He finished third last year. He could win it. But yeah, it's gonna be a snooze fest until probably lap 160, I would say. And then once everybody's got their fuel figured out, people are gonna start getting to the front. But we see it every year.
Well, that's all right.
Fair enough.
And then
Me
we're
Jeff
gonna
are-
wad them
Jeff's-
up.
Jeff's coming to my house to watch, and we're gonna have
Yeah.
food and jocularity.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a great
Oh,
time.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna go over there and we're gonna watch a rain delay together.
We are.
It's gonna be
Yep.
gonna
No,
be glorious. I have a bowling tournament that morning, and then I'm just gonna head straight over there. So
Yep.
easy vibes,
Yeah,
and
I'll
we'll be
have
in the
two places
Discord
to pick
having them
station.
up. I mean, it'll be fun, and if you don't, I harp on this all the time. HBO Max, watch the in cars and listen to how people communicate, and how all of that fuss is going on, and it'll be a good race. I think it'll be fine. I just and then the rain isn't gonna help, but maybe the forecast was wrong. The 600 was supposed to get rained out all the way up until the day it started, and then it was good. So maybe things are good there.
yeah. Well,
Hey, before we
who do
jump
think's
out,
winning
We're not
the
jumping
Daytona
out. We have a
500?
couple more topics. We're fine. We're not gonna just
Oh,
hard cut
my
it.
bad,
8:30.
my bad.
Yeah, you're fine. You're fine. What were you gonna
Who is
mention though?
winning the Daytona 500?
Oh, I was going to mention the fantasy league. In lieu of who's going to win this race where anyone can win and it's a completely random shit show, we should talk about Victory Lane now being tied to the fantasy league.
Good
And
call. Drive it. That's you. I got
opening it. So NASCAR Fantasy Live, we do the thing on the show for any new viewers where when we would guess who's going to win the race or who's going to finish the highest, and you get a minute to talk about whatever the hell you want. Well, we're doing it different this year. So NASCAR Fantasy Live is NASCAR's platform where you pick 5 drivers and a garage driver. I just dropped my my picks in, and you pick a couple of head-to-head matchups, and then whoever gets the most points wins the week and the season, etc. So week by week now, we're going to be doing Victory Lane based off of the Fantasy Live scores more than not just picking one driver and hoping for the best. So I just wanted to put that in there. Anyone watching, anyone listening, join up. We're going to drop the we'll drop the login credentials for the fantasy league in the YouTube comments and the Twitch comments. And we'll do it on there. And we'll be taking, if you win and you want to send one of us a quick message on Discord, you can we'll read your thing after we parse through it for content. No trickies, no funny stuff. But
got
yeah,
my
so
beautiful
sorry,
li-
Jeff. Anybody could win. It's Daytona.
Yeah, I've got
But-
my beautiful lineup now of Jimmy Johnson, Logano, Keselowski, Cindric, Kyle Busch, and old Stenhouse in the garage for you never know what could happen.
I went Hocevar, Stenhouse, Heim, Gregson, Gibbs, and Nemechek. I just went a bunch of like randoms.
Yeah, well, it's important to
I'm not
know
wasting-
that you can only use a driver 10 times in the regular season. So
Yeah.
there's some strategy there, especially at these plate races, to maybe use a guy you wouldn't normally use. Save a Kyle Larson
Yeah, I
pick or a
went-
Denny Hamlin pick for later.
I went Denny because he's great at super speedways, and then mostly
And
Fords.
Daytona in particular.
Cindric, Logano, Keselowski, and then Hocevar, and then JJ.
Yeah, I gotta put Jimmy Jam on there.
Nope.
Come on.
Gotta put
All
John
of those like considered like
Come on.
my pick to win the Daytona 500 is Hocevar.
That's interesting.
So
You're telling me
I
Bro,
think
if
he's
he
going
wins,
to win that
dog,
race.
that would be a story.
I
if
mean,
he
I put him
wins
in there
the Daytona
because
500.
he's not afraid to get up front, stay up front, do what he needs to
Exactly
do.
where I'm at is that I feel like, yeah, despite when you're in type of situation, I think that we're going to be looking at a situation where this is somebody who's going to just go, I want these points and I want them now and I want to make this splash early. And I think Hocevar is that guy for this race. So we will see where that shakes out. So
I just don't know how many
all
friends
that
he's
being
got.
said,
That's all. I don't know how many friends he's got. Somebody's got to push him.
that's gonna be the big one. But we've seen if you can get out of the muck in this situation, you get up near towards the front, it's gonna be a little less about where your friends are, because if you can get past all the people that aren't your friends, you're gonna be in better shape. So we'll see where that lands. All that being said, we are about to roll out of here very shortly. We are about to go to our next league race as the Intentional Rec League continues to heat up in our NASCAR 25 league. I know we got a few of the guys that are in the league that are watching now. Like, you guys need to hurry up. We need to start qualifying. We've got shit to do. So trust me, we will
got
be
a
there
half
soon,
hour
guys.
buffer.
Just gonna wait, a couple of minutes for here. But yes, we will be moving that. The season is continuing to move along. It has been fantastic. As we've seen from the episodes we've done about it thus far, this will not be the only time that we talk about the league. And as we start to wind the season down here a little bit more and things start to heat up, you will hear a little bit more about it on the pod on how things in the league are going. And also, if you check our YouTube channel, you'll see Finn do some reviews and do some videos where he will specifically critique some of the craziness that's going on, as well as shower some praise where it's deserved. So
Should be fun tonight. There's gonna be some wrecks.
Yep.
yes, we are at Indy tonight.
Yep, and it is the finale of our in-season tournament. We've got one person in it. Good old Nick Kaufman here is going to be head-to-head with the 18 car of Warm Snugs, and
Snuggles.
I know we don't have, we'll find a way to feature the different personalities of the league here on the pod. But let's just say it's like Ronaldo and Messi. All right,
Oh, boy.
Ronaldo is Snugs, right? He works hard, builds his body in the gym, building himself up to be the perfect specimen is Snugs. He is every night grinding out lap time, finding every inch of advantage he can get. Okay, let me pause here. This wasn't meant to be a short thing, Nick. I apologize. Naturally gifted Messi over here, who doesn't even look like he's trying, just shows up and beats you. Okay? Height notwithstanding, I think it's a perfect analogy. It's a dick move. I apologize. I just realized it now. And then I could have said that after, but I said it live. Point is, Nick is so naturally gifted at racing games. And then you've got Snugs, who is just fast because of willpower. And there's some raw talent there. So amongst all the chaos of the rest of us, with some pretty cool throwback schemes, if I might add. Corey, I really like that one that you threw up there. That was pretty sick.
You like that?
A little
that was
Jamie
my
Mack throwback?
That was my first. That's I mean, I looked it up as a Truex. I mean, it came up to me as a Truex throwback, but I have no idea. But I'll tell you this: that was my first attempt at doing a paint scheme, and it is not easy, man. I'm so bad at it.
Did you guys have throwback
well.
schemes with your guys, like built into the paint schemes? Because I
I
know there was
haven't
a
looked.
DLC.
I don't think so.
Gotcha.
I did not.
I've got
I had to custom build mine.
gotcha. I've got a mellow yellow scheme tonight. Little Kyle Petty 42 throwback.
I was
for
gonna
you.
say, got the Kyle Petty. Hey, that's
I
pretty
wasn't
cool.
gonna do it, and then Snugs messaged me about it. So, yeah, tune into that. That'll be live on Twitch, twitch.tv/IntRecPod, Intentional Rec Pod, and we'll be live there shortly with the 42's in-car camera. But there are plenty of guys there, and everybody that's in the race is excited to go. So, money on the line, good vibes on the line. Hey, look at the cutie.
Yay!
Hey, she's famous. She was on a semi-pro hockey league big screen. She's famous.
That's right.
A
Hello.
semi-pro hockey league big screen. We're about to close, and you're just now about to mention that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's gonna
Like
win?
Jeff's dream come true.
Who's gonna
What
win?
semi-pro team? I
Can-
was watching that game.
Can you say Jimmy Johnson? Can you say Jimmy Johnson?
She can't.
Nick,
hear
are you sure that's your baby? She's very cute.
Thank you.
Hey.
My wife did a lot of the heavy
Hello.
lifting in that.
Hello. Hi. God, I didn't know we were gonna have a
Oh,
special
man.
guest. I would have prepared a segment.
I didn't realize we were getting a cameo.
Oh my goodness. All right.
That is
All right,
fantastic.
take us out.
Tune in, race.
Yes, I think that's time to close. That's going to wrap things up for us this week. Please make sure you check us out on YouTube, Spotify, Twitch under the name Intentional Rec. Like, share, subscribe, tell all your friends. Please, you can check us out on the socials at IntRecPod. Also, send your questions to anybody that's part of our Discord server within the mailbag. We will be utilizing that to answer some questions and talk about things in the episodes. More talk about the league, more talk about the season. It's time to finally go racing, boys. Everybody have a great night. We'll catch y'all next week.
See ya.
Peace.